Okay, I really wasn't going to make another video about this. I mean, if you look on the internet, you'll see, God, I don't know how many videos about Onisan and what a just creepy possible pedophiliac type of individual this person is. And then I was just doing a little bit more because, okay, sometimes in order to understand a little bit more about the person, you need to understand a little bit more about their surroundings, a little bit more about their environment. And, I was watching the Nihilist, I think it was, and I'll put a link on their page here in just a little bit. I'll put the link down below, so if anybody's interested, they can watch his stuff. Because he does an excellent job about fact-finding and narrowing a lot of this stuff down, just direct evidence, and he, of course, edits his videos, whereas I really don't, because I just don't know how yet. Yet being the key word. So it's just me talking to a microphone and just making some things known. But I noticed some things about this environment that kind of disturbs me, and it kind of makes me wonder if Greg is the only person we should be looking at. And the reason that I say that is because it is not uncommon when it comes to, like, one person doing anything that their significant other tends to be involved in those same activities as well. We've seen husband and wife pairings as far as crimes in the past. We've also seen husband and wives being accused of some horrible things, and in some cases to be like, oh, well, I didn't know anything about it. But as we know for sure now, this person definitely knows something about it. They've made several different articles about it. They've even mocked people directly about it for the most part. But I'm seeing a lot of very curious things about the significant other. Needless to say, one of them that I saw was that both of them tend to follow a lot of similar things. Like, in other words, for in an instance, in order to get a few hits internet-wise, they're like, oh, well, I'm agender, I'm this, I'm that. Oh, so because you insist it, you are. Okay. One thing that you often notice about types like these is they have that weird little blank stare thing going, and occasionally the short hair or radical hairdo styles make them look like they're part of the trend. And again, it's usually a lot of that's all an act, but there's usually something a little bit deeper as far as like whether it's something repressed, something just some sort of sexual issue. It's hard to say with these subjects, but I noticed that Lainey on her page said, "Well, I'm this." And now we have Oni that's saying, oh, well, apparently I'm this because Lainey says this. Okay. Then he says that social justice warriors are attacking him, whereas they post something on their own, which is two social justice warriors react to stuff on Tumblr and Twitter, and just a lot of things that just don't make sense or add up. Another thing that I've noticed, and I wrote this down, why we didn't vote for Trump. Now, honestly, I don't care who you voted for and who you didn't vote for the most part, because there is no political candidate that is going to basically save us. We have to save ourselves. I remember it was election night. I was going out with some friends and my girlfriend, and this lady stopped us, and she was definitely drunk, and her mascara was running all this, and she was looking like she was ready to start a fight. And she was like, well, at least you didn't vote for the person that didn't deserve it, right? And I said, ma'am, in my honest opinion, as long as I've been alive, where there is not one person that has got into office that has genuinely deserved it. Have a nice night. Other friends of mine were not so lucky, and they're people that have gotten harassed and even gotten death threats just because they didn't support Hillary. Which is why you'll hear me say from time to time the cult of Clinton and various stuff like that, because we've gone from following people or supporting people to worshiping them. And we saw this started, if I had to narrow a time down on it, during the Bush administration, where it was you're either with me or against me. And there was this thing that if you didn't agree with everything the president said, you were some horrible, horrible person, and there was something wrong with you. And then Obama's administration came around, and the moment you didn't agree with him, suddenly you were racist, sexist, misogynist, whatever. And they really played that hard over the last 8 years. And then, of course, they had their little movement, their little pet movement, Black Lives Matter, which they then turned around and used as more or less their personal attack dogs. hey, we don't have to do anything. We have these people screwing things up for us, and we get to look like we're smelling like roses. But we'll turn around and say that they're doing a great job after they burn their own town down. Great job, guys, because you're officially, you're only officially a movement when you've destroyed your own town. Stupid, just stupid shit. And the fact that people actually support that kind of shit is stupid shit. You kind of lose the ability to make excuses when you burn your own town down. And when there is no outcry for radical, extreme reform at that point. Yeah, what is wrong with people? Anyway, so their whole argument was, well, Obama said this, and Bernie said this, so we must go along with the group. And this is what I've said about playing towards the crowd, you know, trying to whip up the mob mentality tactics, which is to basically form a mob and get this echo chamber mentality going where they only listen to what the rest of the mob says. This is also attributed to cult behavior, cult tactics. And again, it's like, well, this person said, so you should do this. No, you shouldn't. Come to your own damn conclusions. Obama said this, this, and this about Hillary, but he also said she was one of the most unqualified people for the job. Bernie may said this and that, but he also was caught accepting bribes from the Hillary campaign. And for those of people that still support Bernie, come on, stop being stupid. This is a guy that accepted bribes before he even got into office. He told you one thing, he did another, he played you. He lied. Fraud. When you say one thing, and then you do something completely different that goes against all of your core beliefs, that's fraudulent behavior. Especially when you take other people's money in one premise and then proceed to do the exact opposite. It's pretty cut and dry at that point. And if that's what a candidate does, before they even get in office, there is no way you can tell me that that is suddenly going to change. If anything, it's only going to get worse. Now, does that mean Trump is going to save us? Again, I'm going to tell you flat out, no, I don't think he's going to save us all. I don't think any candidate is going to save us all. You could reinstate John F. Kennedy, you could resurrect him and bring him back from the fucking grave, and he couldn't save us all because, damn if we haven't done a really good job at screwing ourselves over. 50 plus years, and we are the worst stewards of our own damn country that it isn't even funny. So, I don't think Trump's going to save us. I know Hillary's not going to save us. I read the damn emails. Any person whose aides refer to a 7-year-old, a 9-year-old, an 11-year-old in a heated pool of the evening as entertainment for the evening is not a sane individual that I want to work with. That's not somebody that should ever be up for president. And especially with the fact that they're okay with this. Oh, well, you called me on my bad behavior, so it's the Russians. No, I'm pretty sure it's the fact that you called children entertainment for an evening that kind of gets me off the fence and says, screw you, I don't want you ever in office. I actually look at these things, like I said, I like to try to be as objective as possible, and I'm sitting there going, no, no way. But all the Trump-Hillary stuff aside, and unsurprisingly, they think of children as entertainment and Onision. But I don't think it's just Onision. And that's the part that may throw a few people for the loop. I'm really starting to wonder if it's just Onision. Because his wife does know about this. And she's there at the forefront with all of these accusations. There's no way she doesn't know about the accusations. She must have seen the forum boards more than once. So she knows the stuff is going on, and they have a 16-year-old living with them. Which it seems pretty legitimate that there's stuff that's going on there too. So, is it really just him? And the thing here is that when it comes to either sex offenders or people with this kind of behavior, we often notice that there is more of a precipice of this supposedly being just the males. In other words, just the males have to be the offenders. It's hard to believe that a lady can be an offender, but that's actually the case. And there is a lot of, I mean, if you want to talk about LGBT, there's a lot of a rise in domestic abuse and even sexual abuse within those reaches as well. So, is it really unreasonable to suggest that maybe she is also just as guilty as he is, and potentially participating as well. Now, am I saying that's the case? I don't honestly know. I am saying, is it really unreasonable to suggest or think that this may be the case as well? Because we have all this damning evidence that there's definitely something that's going on with him. There is enough evidence that is out there, that has been posted, that has been showcased. But when someone is this much at the forefront and defends someone this much, there's a difference between Stockholm Syndrome, and I kind of wonder if this person is also in on it. I note a lot of the whole blank stare, weird haircut, strange facial expression stuff that we usually see in most social justice warriors, where they have something you can tell there is just something that is not right about them. But when you put that into a particular type of environment where accusations are made, it kind of opens up the door to other questions and whether or not we should be worried about this person as well. And because even if one gets busted, oh wait, there's still the other one that's waiting in the wings, just kind of smiling and going, heh heh. And the other thing, which brings me to certain other things that I've noticed. They tended to allow in people that are vulnerable, kind of projection type, maybe I won't say emotionally disturbed because that's a little much, but again, very vulnerable types of people that are just either highly insecure or the type to be, the type that project. They have an issue, so they project it onto others. I noticed on one of Nissan's latest videos where he was saying that he was not a feminist, he's an egalitarian or whatever, which is basically movements speak for, okay, you called us on our crap and you're associating us with something that is rightfully bad news, so we're going to tell you that we're not the bad one. We're going to do all the same things, we're going to have all the same traits, and we're going to be just as much bad behavior as the other ones, but we're going to trap it up under a new term so you think we're not so bad. Again, manipulation, which tells you all about these types of people. Highly manipulative, playing the crowd, trying to create an echo chamber to where only their views are acceptable. Like me, you can bring to me all evidence on both sides, and I'm going to look at both sides and go, okay, this is what I think about that. Like if I see compelling evidence from Onision's side, I may very well talk about that. But I'm not. And that's the problem. Normally I would expect to see, okay, well there's the evidence for this that says, maybe he's misunderstood. And I do go looking for that. I'll go looking through his videos and, okay, let me see if I can get a little bit more of an understanding here. But there's really nothing to back him up. If anything, it just damns him even worse. And then I see all this other evidence on the side. Oh, we have forum moderators that you can tell they've seen this stuff and they're allowing it to continue. We have, postings of stuff where they're saying, oh, there was no scantily clad. And we see people with, that are topless and all this other stuff, and it's like, that's pretty scantily clad. So again, you go where the evidence is. That's how you get an objective viewpoint. And unfortunately, it doesn't give me a lot to honestly defend Onision with, or even present a neutral point, because it's just not there. And even worse, on top of that, we have the whole, oh yes, regarding his wife, if you want to call it that, because there is no real chemistry. If you really pay attention, you can see couples that have at least a little bit of chemistry. There really isn't any chemistry there. Oh, we're making effect. Look, I'm sorry, you can tell when something is faked for a camera. Oh, I'm going to hug you and I'm going to sit here like this. There's no chemistry there. There's no connection there. So, is this really a pairing, or is there something else that is going on? Like, are they hooked up so that one can enable the other in certain regards? I don't know. Obviously, I don't know everything that goes on, but, just, again, objectively looking at this and looking at the body language, I see one person that has sociopathic tendencies, and I see another person that has all of the attraction of a dead fish. It's just not there. There's no attraction there. And yeah, I get it, you know, she's bisexual, and honestly, I don't care about that, because who you're attracted to is who you're attracted to. But in a relationship, any kind of relationship, there's going to be at least some sort of chemistry. Whether you've been together with a person 1 year or 12 years. And there are going to be good days, and there are going to be bad days, but I would expect looking through there to at least see some sort of actual chemistry, not, oh, look, I'm looking like I'm attracted for the camera, mwah, mwah, mwah. I'm sorry, not all of us are under 13 and stupid. We can kind of see through it and go, there's nothing there. These people either do not like each other, or they're just going through the motions. Now, you can think of whatever you want about that, but it's more like they're interested in whoever else is around them than each other. There's nothing there. Dead fish. So going down the list here, I jot down notes. Let's see. Yeah, we have someone that keeps putting up lesbian love stories. Look, you're lesbian or you're bisexual. Figure it out. Make up your mind. And they're living with a 16-year-old. Let's see. She lied about her age, but the states we were in, that didn't even matter. And they're very, very quick to jump on that, too. But I've noticed this is something that Greg has been known for, which is he uses his lawyers, you know, they check this stuff out beforehand. Let's see. Yes. Whenever it comes to emotional abuse, they use these terms, and remember I said emotional manipulation is one of the key vectors these manipulative types like to pull, especially since it is a predator versus prey model where they are the predator and you are the prey, and they're after your time, attention, money, worship, whatever. They like to, one of the main tactics is to throw up terms that are going to be emotionally shocking and pull you in with those. Once they've emotionally pulled you in, they can then basically work you however. And one of the things they like to do is, emotional abuse. I've gone through the video list, especially on Lainey's channel, and there are a number of videos about this. And it's what I found really weird is their way of refuting these things has been, when the two of them are together, are, well, Lainey's going to ask me a bunch of questions, and we are going to decide by how I answer whether or not I'm emotionally abusive, disturbed, crazy. You get the idea. Am I the only person who thinks that there is something really wrong here? And who does that sort of thing? It's like O.J. Simpson saying, well, if I did it, people are just going to look and go, what is wrong with you? Not that people aren't asking that already, but again, what is wrong with you? You like that is supposed to, well, my wife took this test and she's close to me, so since she gave me this test and I answered a bunch of scripted questions, that automatically means that I've refuted all charges, for which I will be backed up by my legions of 13 to 15-year-olds. Just when I want to believe that, dear God, these people are not that stupid. And they're stupid, and then there is willfully stupid, okay? At this point, to support this guy, you really have to be willfully ignorant beyond a degree of stupidity. Because that does not refute shit. Okay? If I go into a video with my girlfriend and say, okay, so I took this question, that does not, here, read me off a bunch of questions. So am I crazy? It doesn't really prove anything. Your wife is not a clinical psychiatrist. There probably isn't a psychiatrist that is capable enough of dealing with you. You're a YouTube celebrity in your own right. Well, I say that because he's got like close to 2 million subscribers, most of which are freaking kids. I won't call it really a celebrity so much as a YouTube cult leader type. But And it really does raise some questions about how do we deal with this as a community? How do we deal with these platforms that are really created to foster a cult environment? How do we deal with these things without taking an authoritarian or totalitarian approach? Because this is something that has, especially within the last 8 years, gotten worse and worse and worse. We're seeing more of these platforms emerging, and their favorite thing to do is social media, because they can gather large scores of the gullible, of those that just want a place to belong, of those that are projecting their own personal issues onto someone else, which are one of the more dangerous types of people to get a hold of, or people that have something seriously wrong with them, and uniting them under one banner that is really screwed up and bad for everybody else's health. On one hand, you have freedom of speech. On the other hand, you have, okay, this is a real problem here, and it is giving cults an outlet by which to work people into something that we should never be. But again, we have this situation where they're going, oh, well, I took this test, I'm good. No, you're not. And if anything, that's a little bit more worrisome. But the fact is, they do this for a reason. They do this because subconsciously it worked within a person's mind to go, oh, hey, one, they get it in your mind, it's false accusations of emotional abuse. On the other hand, they put in your mind, oh, see, I'm okay. Even though they really haven't proven anything at all. And in fact, as far as Greg goes, he really hasn't had any kind of proof in his corner. There really isn't any proof in his corner, and everything that he says is just digging that hole a little bit more. And the more he tries to lash out at other people and send his fans to mess with other people, I mean, dude, if you want to dig a hole for someone, at least make sure that you're outside of the hole first. It just makes more sense. And I'm trying to look at this from a perspective of logic and reason and something sensible, but there really isn't. This is a train wreck waiting to happen, and it's just a matter of how bad it actually comes out as being. And I have a feeling it's going to come out a lot worse than any of us really thought it was going to be. So I'm gonna call it right now. Duo in despair. These guys, I really think that it's not just Greg we ought to be looking at here. Because I think there is some... I think there is more to the story between the two of them than we realize. I don't think it's just him. I don't know that she is aiding and abetting, but there is a possibility. And I don't know that their relationship is everything that it is claimed to be either. And whereas I don't know the reason why, there are a lot of things that I don't know. And I try to comment as best I can only on the things I know and the evidence that's been presented. I will say that there is enough sliver of doubt there to say, okay, we're not being told the whole story. And I get it, private life. I'm not going to give you all the details about my personal life, about things between me and my girlfriend and all that stuff. I get that. I don't expect that. But when you put something up in front of the camera, and you bring the world in to see, you kind of need to expect a certain level of scrutiny. As I've linked below before in my previous video to VS Joy Sparkles, we were talking when she wanted to get her YouTube channel, set up and stuff, and I was telling her, I'm like, you need to be careful because I've done social media, I've even done political activism and stuff, and it is a different beast than I think you understand, than you expect. There are a lot of different aspects to that, and the moment you put yourself out there, what you put out is what the world's going to look at, and there is an incredible level of scrutiny from all sides. And there are some people that are going to scrutinize you just to do it. I don't need rhyme or reason. You're just going to say, like I said, basically screw Hillary a moment ago. I guarantee you there are going to be a bunch of people that watch this and be like, oh my God, you have insulted my personal savior. You are evil. You are the Antichrist. Sorry, I'm just not that talented, guys. But, again, because this is the internet, and especially YouTube, you're going to get a lot of strong opinions in response. These things will happen. So, again, when it comes to Greg, I don't understand what you're bitching about. You signed up for this. When you put yourself out there, this is what you get. You're going to get the good, you're going to get the bad. And this is what I told Miss Sparkles. before she started up, and she's taken a lot of that to heart, and I'm glad. I'm also glad to see that her YouTube is picking up pretty well. Congratulations. Hope it continues. I'm not really sure what she has in mind, beyond the Onision stuff. I know that she was really, really passionate about it, as I can be as well, simply because nobody likes to see kids being messed with. And that is one bit of common ground that we definitely share. And that is we're very passionate about kids not being in danger. So wherever there's kids that are in danger, wherever there are people that are put in a dangerous circumstance, you better believe they're going to find, the people that are doing it are going to find a strong enemy in her, in me, and in various other people. And the main reason that we do things like this, whereas in my case you'll see some of my videos are monetized, and we've had conversations about that too. Some of our perspectives differ. But largely the real reason that we do it is not to jump on the bandwagon because, hey, I put out my Onision video. It's not like I have 1,001 subscribers. I really don't. I don't see myself as some sort of popular YouTube personality. Maybe that will change, maybe it won't. I just like to talk to a camera and, just call it straight. But the real reason is because when you get enough of a group going, you have enough of a circulation of the message going, it makes it harder for the people that are doing this screwed up stuff to get away from it. If someone is doing something horrible, and it's largely under the radar and nobody's attention is being drawn to it, what's going to happen? It's only going to continue. And the best way for evil to triumph is when good people do nothing. I know the original phrase was good men do nothing, but, whatever. Good men, good women, whatever. When good people do nothing, evil triumphs. When we say nothing, evil triumphs. We have too much of this screwed up stuff going on with these social justice warriors harassing people. We have Hillary supporters that are harassing people. All of this stuff going on in this environment of fear and paranoia and emotional manipulation of a crowd. And we have been conditioned to accept this nonsense. And it's high time that people stand up and do something about it and say something about it. And this is one of the first steps. We're not going to let people get away with this shit anymore because it's happened for too long. Enough is enough. And these people are going to cry. They're going to try every dirty trick in the book. And just like Hillary, they're going to lose. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen right away. But these people are going to lose because we are going to be on them every step of the way. And every time they pull stuff, we're going to call them out on it. And every time they try to lie their way out of it, we're going to call them out on it too. Every time they try to emotionally manipulate the crowd by throwing out one of these emotional responses, like, oh, well, I'm this, and oh, well, this, and oh, well, you're doing that, and you're misconstruing me. Great, prove it. We're going to call you out on it. And if you want the shit to stop, 1, don't do it. 2, have something to back up your own side of things. And 3, stop trying to emotionally manipulate the crowd. Because the more you try to play emotional manipulation, I'm going to call you out on that one above all else. It is one thing that I have seen in modern day movements, and this always seems to happen whenever they don't have any evidence. Because they figure they can work the crowd, and that the gullible in their group will just automatically defend them no matter how horrible they actually are. Now, it's time for this shit to stop. Shakespeare didn't like mobs, and quite frankly, neither do I. We are thinking, reasoning beings, and it's time to get back to a stance of critical thinking. It's time to get back into an environment where people are comfortable to be able to speak their minds again. Now, there are people that are going to try to abuse this, and when that happens, we'll be there to say something about them too. So if you want to, accuse us of, oh, well, you're promoting this, and no, I'm not. I'm always very upfront about what I'm about, just like I am now. This isn't really to gain any kind of popularity or YouTube fame or anything like that, because it takes a lot more than calling one person out to do that, and if you think I'm kidding, Greg is not the first person or the last person to do stupid stuff on YouTube. And if you look at the people that have called them out, they're not exactly, they're no Markiplier, okay? You're not really seeing them in all the hot spots. And that's because, really, it takes more than that to foster and keep a channel. At least going to that extent. So it really isn't about that. I think the whole tired excuse of, you're just doing it to ride the hate bandwagon, it just needs to stop. Because there's nothing to it. It's not going to get you YouTube popularity. It may cause a wave, of a little crest of interest for a time, but after that you're going to have to do something to kind of keep it going. And that's just really what there is to it. For some people, that may be speaking their mind. Some people find it refreshing that someone is blunt to the point, and other people will be turned off by it and go, hey, I'm going to go elsewhere. That's how it goes. But anyway, that's just my little take on that for the moment. I might make another video since I've often commented on. You'll see me call a person like a type 3 or a type 4 or something like that and go into a bit more detail. There are actually 6 types of people that you will usually see that get drawn into these sorts of things, or you'll find in most movements in general. I actually plan on doing a video about that one, so that one is definitely coming up because I think it's something that should be addressed. So that will be my next video unless something else precludes that. So thank you all for listening. I hope you all have a great day, and I hope 2007 continues to be, or starts to be, an excellent year for you. Yes, even in the event that it's Onision, I wish everybody well, even if they're kind of a jerk. So, in his case, I would just say, look, just stop the bullshit. Just stop. You know, make your game videos, do whatever, but stop screwing around with kids. Stop making sorry excuses to cover your ass, and stop being emotionally manipulative and abusive to others. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.